Hey all, so we're back again talking about roof parapets. Why are we talking about parapets? Well, because they cause the majority of the problems that we see in buildings with flat or low-sloped roofs. Now, we know how to build a leak-free parapet, and yes, it is possible. This is nothing new. We just have to think through the forces that are impacting the parapet, where water is draining, giving that path for water to drain out, and ensuring that our waterproofing materials remain durable for the service life of the building, not to mention some very specific air sealing details, and we've covered this in a lot of other videos. However, there is one detail, one specific parapet detail, that needs to stop being used. Now, this might ruffle some feathers, but you're almost guaranteed to have leaks in your parapet if you are building using this one detail, and that's the classic stucco coping detail. What do I mean by this? Do you see this parapet wall and how the stucco wraps all the way around the parapet? This is exactly what I'm talking about, whether we're dealing with a wood-framed or steel-framed parapet or a CMU wall. This is just asking for trouble right here. Really common in the southern United States, it's pretty characteristic of the Adobe or Mission-style homes, and while you might like the appearance of this aesthetically, it just doesn't work from a water management standpoint. Normally, we have a piece of metal or non-porous stone with a kerf cut or something to direct water away from the top of the parapet wall, and we call that a coping, and directly beneath it, we have a flashing membrane. If water gets inside, it hits the membrane and eventually drains out if it's sloped. If we have the stucco wrapping around the coping, that stucco is absorbing and storing water like a wet sponge. Remember, stucco, stone, and brick are all forms of reservoir claddings, meaning that they readily absorb water. If we don't have a drainage gap between the stucco and the surface that we're installing it on, we get the buildup of hydrostatic pressure. Now, the same is true for a horizontal surface, except it's magnified because perched water stays on that horizontal surface for a significantly longer period of time. Now again, we can deal with this by installing a good peel and stick membrane over the framing, which should be there anyways, and then draining the surface between the stucco and the membrane. You can look into some products from MTI Dry, like Sure Cavity or Control Cavity, which provides a drainage gap and capillary break. But one of the worst building conditions that we see is when we have a block wall or masonry parapet wall with direct applied stucco. Now, we already sort of touched on masonry parapets a couple of weeks ago, specifically pertaining to concrete block and the problems that we see with those types of parapets. This video is sort of building onto those problems, and it is distinctly a problem with this type of stucco coping. Again, we normally have a metal coping that's directing water away from the top of the parapet wall, or coping stone that is separated with a piece of stainless flashing with drips below the coping stone. In the case of concrete block walls, they often just wrap the direct applied stucco all the way around the parapet without any sort of waterproofing membrane or flashing, and then terminate the roof membrane on the backside of the parapet wall somewhere. Do you really think that joint isn't going to leak? Why would we do this? This is insane, and these details are being implemented in places like Florida where it rains every single day and where they get hurricanes driving water into these sensitive joints. Look, I know you might like the architecture, but it's simply a dumb idea to implement a detail like this. Now, we have a couple of workarounds, but they are so unnecessary, and they add so much more complexity to the project than just accepting the use of a metal or stone coping. Oh, but we just coat the entire wall in an elastomeric paint, and that stops the water. No, it freaking doesn't. It's a temporary water repellent. If anything, it's a band-aid solution that doesn't work in the long term. The minute water gets into that parapet, you're going to start seeing blistering of that paint. Paint is not flashing. I don't know how many times I have to say this. This is another thing I don't really understand. You're spending all this money on a home or building, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and you're almost guaranteed to have this fail and become a recurring issue, with a bunch of expensive and unnecessary remediations in the future just because you want the look of a Mission style or Adobe building. We don't build out of old growth lumber and thick masonry anymore. These historic buildings that you're trying to emulate could soak up a lot more moisture without failing. You can't just apply modern building materials, modern building techniques, with modern energy codes to a design like this and think that you're going to be okay. If you're an architect or designer and you're specifying this, stop it. You're putting your clients at risk and yourself at risk as well, not to mention the builder and the roofer who are going to get dinged for a dumb detail like this that they're asked to implement. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this rant. It's not something I usually do, but it needed to be said, and I hope it helps a lot of people who are considering a detail like this. We want to help you prevent any future moisture problems and headaches, and build homes and buildings that will actually last the tests of time, not something that's going to be demolished in 20 or 30 years with a plethora of maintenance problems. Guys, if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more weekly building science videos, and head over to our website at asiri-designs.com, where we have over 150 free building science articles that cover a wide range of topics. Links will be in the description below. For now, good luck with your projects. Cheers.